She's lucky to have a son like you. Take this.
Demonstrators headed for the Unified Workers' Party headquarters. Others went along Malinsky Street towards the Central Prison and beyond to the Office of Public Security. At 10:15 a.m., a group of dissenters entered the regional courthouse and the county attorney's office.
The demonstration must disperse immediately. Move out. Leave the premises or we will use force.
Go back home. Go on.
I'm staying with you.
I told you to get out of here.
The number of workers killed, it seems, has reached 100, plus several hundred wounded.
My father worked there. I'm sure he was with the strikers.
What's your father's name?
Ignacy.
Hello? It's Wojtyła. Call Monsignor Górka, St. Peter and Paul's in Poznań. See what you can find out about Ignacy Pomorski. And check on Maciej Nowak and Witold Brożek too. Yes. Thank you. We'll know shortly.
We know where we can find some guns!
Quiet! Quiet! Sit down. You know, during the Nazi period, I happened to find myself next to the wisest man I had ever met. We were in a dark room, hanging on between life and death. And this wise man wasn't a philosopher. He was a tailor. And he said to me, "We'll win with love, not with guns." And I answered, "How can you say that with the Nazis in our country?" And he said, "The Nazis will disappear because evil devours itself. But if love doesn't win out, the Nazis will just come back under a different name." And now you want to face down tanks with rifles? You want to give your lives? I don't think you should be giving your lives today. You should be showing your love of life instead. A love they don't know about. You have to bear witness to the sacred dignity of every life. Demonstrate peacefully. Show your pain, show your disappointment. Shout out your refusal of violence. Show your love. Show your respect for life. Excuse me.
I have to know.
Wojtyła speaking, yes? He's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. What did they tell you?
A classmate of yours, Witold Brożek, was killed. It's hard to forgive a crime like this. And a friend of mine was wounded. But I repeat, do not provoke them. That's exactly what they expect you to do. They won't be afraid of your guns, but they will be afraid of your words.
You look well. 3 years in prison haven't weakened you.
There were 17 of us in my seminary class. 12 of them ended up in a concentration camp. Do you really think I would feel cramped in this lovely place? I could live here until the day I die. I have faith, a strength you know nothing about.
How would you like to go abroad? I don't know. What about Italy or the Riviera?
My place is in my cathedral or in prison.
You can go back to your cathedral. The government has changed. Comrade Gumulka is in power now and thinks that you can take up your duties again.
You fired on the workers. You used tanks against people in Hungary. Is that what communism is?
I think it's intolerable that they ended up firing on workers, even if they were agitators. And what I find even more intolerable is the failure of so many government plans.
Are you saying all this to protect your career?
You can think of me as an enemy, but not as a worm. Whether you like it or not, the two of us are alike. We are believers.
The fact remains that people demonstrating peacefully scare you. You release the head of the Polish church to have an alibi. You're making a very grave mistake. Governments might change and ease up. But I am and always will be against you. Don't think that letting me out will influence my soul in any way.
Nobody wants to buy your soul. We want to achieve communism, carrying it out with all the changes needed, with or without the backing of the church.
How do I manage to be so late all the time?
From the Secretary of the Vatican State to the Primate of Poland, Cardinal Stefan Wyszynski. His Holiness, upon the solicitation of the Archbishop Monsignor Baziak, names Karol Wojtyła, Auxiliary Bishop of the city of Krakow. He was singled out for his keen intellect, devotion and constant dedication, his interior strength and persuasive oratory, his cultivation of philosophy and the social sciences, his following as a teacher and his influence among the young.
Excuse me, are you going to Olsztynek? I have to catch a train to Warsaw.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Sacks of flour.
It was the quickest way I could find.
Were you in Masuria to carry out your spiritual exercises?
No, I was with a group of my students. We were kayaking.
Yes. I've heard you were perhaps a little bit too athletic. I was curious to meet you. Do you know why I sent for you?
No, Your Eminence.
Your Archbishop, Monsignor Baziak, has obtained your appointment as Bishop of Krakow from the Pope.
I am far too young.
That's a weakness you will get rid of soon. I ask you not to oppose the Holy Father's will.
I accept.
Well then, let's go and get something to eat.
Karol! Don't let anyone get to you!
He wouldn't tell me his name. He seems very nervous. Maybe we ought to call the police.
No, you're not going to call the police. It's Novak. No, you may go, sister. Everything's fine. Just fine. Novak, did you really think I wouldn't recognize that voice of yours in the cathedral?
So my minor friend is a bishop.
How is your arm?
It's all right. They tried to kill old Novak, and when I got up, they tried to beat me to a pulp.
What are you doing?
They are listening to us. I know they are. They're everywhere. I looked for the microphones. I couldn't find them.
No.
But I'm sure they're here.
No.
I'm sure they're here.
Times have changed. We don't live on the terror anymore.
Nothing has changed, Karol. There are illusions of change. Illusions of freedom. That might be enough for the intellectuals, but not for me. Not for the peasants. Not for the workers.
Come, sit down. Sit down. Disappointments, persecutions, violence. They are trying to hurt us. They don't want us to smile anymore. But you can't let them rob you of your strength, or your dreams, or your love. Never. Remember that. See? I'm talking to you about God without naming him.
I'd only just met the child. And they killed him right in front of my eyes.
Who was?
Piotr. Magda's son. He was only 12. Now she doesn't love me anymore because I wasn't able to save her child.
I became a priest to help people ease their pain. But I feel guilty for what I can't do. Talk to your Magda. Hold her tight. Give her the kisses her son can't give her anymore.
Excuse me. You told me you had an important appointment at 4 o'clock.
What time is it?
4 o'clock.
Good Lord. I'm late for an appointment at the Communist Party headquarters.
But why are you taking off your...
So they understand I'm not going there to provoke them.
But no Polish bishop has ever set foot in the Communist Party headquarters.
There's always a first time.
How does this sound? We'll divide up the building. 2 floors for your seminary and 2 floors for us.
Half a seminary is better than no seminary at all, so I thank you.
Don't thank me. The party says you're open to dialogue. They don't see you as a fanatic, a reactionary. That's exactly what they fear, Karol. I don't like that optimistic smile of yours.
Still, all things considered.